our research is noticing that so far European approach on search and rescue and this disembarkation has been very ad hoc. In the newly proposed EU action plan on migration and asylum, regulation on asylum and migration management is proposing to do a bit more better coordinated approach. However, it's not really. It still aims to look at how many people should be either returned or relocated into other EU member states once they have disembarked, without going to the root cause of this phenomenon, mainly that on the one hand there is a need for undocumented migrant labor in such sectors as agriculture, domestic work, logistics. On the other hand, there is a high resistance of leaders such like Salvini to regulate and open the legal pathways and channels for such people to enter into the EU. And just this afternoon at SEPS, we had a conversation about migrant smuggling, and according colleagues who have gathered empiric data, a lot of people who are coming through with the use of migrant smugglers, including using such boats, are, for instance, people who could not or have not obtained possibility to reunify with their family members legally. And for the moment, for instance, we even do not have a criteria that authorities, when refusing such visa applications, would need to justify even their reasoning. So there is a lot that needs to be done in this area. Actually, one of very good indicators have been the very reactions to the proposed global compact for migrations, and we saw 5 member states, among them Austria, Hungary, rejecting such a comprehensive approach to migration. So one of the issues that have been highlighted need to normalize the very discourse on the migration and to speak as something as human mobility that can simply be channeled and regulated, because indeed a lot of our right-wing parties are using this increase their own popularity without resolving the issue and kind of keeping and protracting the situation. For instance, one of the solutions at the EU level has been the revision of so-called Dublin regulation. Nevertheless, the European Parliament didn't manage to find, or European Union member states didn't found enough courage to go for that approach that would kind of make responsibility sharing over asylum seekers more predictable, and it would not be only in the hands of forefront member states that are just positioned as the very first entry points, and that they become all of a sudden the ones bearing the burden on behalf of all the EU, while the numbers, even during so-called refugee crisis that broke out in 2015, have not been so dramatic. If we compare Syrian crisis and 1.5 million Syrians arriving into EU from that time, and the way, let's say, Latin American countries have dealt with 4.5 million of Venezuelans, that they kind of agreed or found the ways for them to come in regularly and to find jobs immediately, is showing that some promising practices or interesting practices are possible. And here SEP's research or colleagues' academics research can be very useful of showing these ways that the policies that are evidence-based can be very effective and can reduce irregularity in the very practical terms.